Happy Brew Wednesday! Oh no, there goes my weekday beer allowance. Hang on a minute, I didn't have any yesterday. Cheers! I'm not downing that. Woo! Oh god, it's a long time since I downed a pint of beer. I think. Or do I just not remember it? Anyway. Happy Brew Wednesday, guys. Got a few updates for you. More DIY going on in the shed, in the man cave. And a few shout outs, which I filmed last week, but didn't want to make the video too long. So in terms of the homebrew work that's been going on, I'm actually going to go a bit freestyle on your ass. On your ass. Okay. This is my mash tun. So that's my manifold, which I've now constructed out of 15mm copper pipe. This is not the finished article. Spare tube, which will be going to good use. The second part of my DIY project on the go. I've already started buying bits for it. Sneak preview. This is going to go as part of my boiler. I know what you're thinking. Me and electronics. Not a good mix. Trial and error and all that. Not a good idea. Anyway, getting back to the mash tun. So, lots of you will be familiar with this kind of setup. That is my manifold, copper manifold. Guy called Aldo Jags said on my comments last time, don't worry about, don't bother with the manifold. Just get a, just use one of the braided tubes, braided hoses. Take the rubber out of it and all of that. You know the score probably. And I think he's probably right. Having done a bit more research into it, I've realised that a little bit of knowledge is quite a dangerous thing. So what I mean by that is I've got John Palmer's How to Brew. It's kind of my main reference for brewing, and I don't really have that much else in the way of books. Certainly not technique wise. So I've been reading all about kind of evenness of flow through the grain bed and all of that in sort of the vast appendices in that book. And actually what I realise now, having reread it, is that really only makes any difference if you're fly sparging, and I'm not planning on doing that. I'm only planning on batch sparging. So bit of a pain in the ass that is. I can't believe that. However, I guess I'm future proofing a little bit. If one day I decide to start fly sparging for a laugh, I won't need to change my setup, because just having a single braided tube going along the middle of your mash tun isn't particularly efficient for fly sparging. Anyway, this is my manifold. So that is obviously the bottom. So the slits will go on the bottom. Nothing's actually fixed except for part of the pipe, which I got quite cheaply from this hardware shop, which is actually soldered here. So that's all soldered together and is solid and isn't going anywhere. But the rest of it's all just loose end feed fittings. So ease of cleaning, that really helps out with. So that'll all break down. Well, at the moment I've got this bit in the middle, so that if you imagine the bottom of the mash tun is sitting here, what I'm going to have, the idea behind this is that because I've got a little bit of dead space at the bottom of the mash tun at the moment, because of how far up the wall of the mash tun the hole was drilled, not by me, but by the person who I bought it off second hand, I want to just hopefully take advantage of a bit of a siphon effect and get a bit more out every time, because I don't want to be that efficient. What I'm going to try and do is, if you imagine that's on the bottom of the boiler, I've got a 45-degree fitment here, fitting, and that, or this, imagine that's the pipe going through the tank connector to the tap on the outside. It's just going to fit on like that, and that, as it happens, is the perfect height. And there's my tap, mash tun wall here, tap here. I'm then going to have a bit more pipe in here, 90-degree compression fitting elbow, and then a little bit more tubing here, obviously to take the tube down below the level of the wart in the. Is it wart or wort? Wart. I've been calling it wart for too long now. Take it down below the level of the wart in the mash tun, hence a siphon effect. So yeah, that's that. I think that's looking pretty good. My only concern at the minute is that this fitting here is not going to be soldered, and that's going to be obviously above the line of here. So just thinking logically about it, if that's not properly sealed, I'm not actually going to get a siphon effect going, because you'll get air coming in through, or air coming in through just down the sides of that fitting. So my concern right now is that this has to be soldered in order for this to work. It's not the end of the world. I could do that. The only problem is I'm not a solderer as such. I don't have any soldering equipment, and I know all you need is a bit of solder, a bit of flux, and then something to add heat. The problem with that is that I was labouring under the misapprehension that a soldering iron would do it, and I don't think it will. You know, one of these little electronics type soldering irons. You need a blowtorch to, you know, butane blowtorch or something, which is fine, but that's like, I think they're like £20. I come back to the idea of doing this in the first place was not to spend £20 just to solder one joint of it. You know, I guess I'd be able to then go and do some more soldering if I found some more projects for myself to do, but I don't know what that would be, and it's a bit pointless. I know it's a bit petty to be sort of getting het up about 20 quid, but I might as well just go and buy a mash tun off the shelf if I'm going to go and do that, aside from the fun factor obviously. I've been thinking about running a pipe into my garage, because the kitchen sink backs onto one of the walls of the garage, so I think it would be really easy actually to have a tap in my garage, which would be really helpful if I'm going to start brewing up there, which is the idea, the man cave. But I think I could do that just with compression fittings, in which case I wouldn't need to solder. My problem, so by that rationale, you'd say, why don't you just use a compression fitting for this manifold? I can't find a 45-degree compression fitting for that, and a 90-degree one takes it above the height of the hole in the mash tun wall then. So I'm a bit stumped by that. So anyway, while I'm trying this other bit, Little Valley Brewery Withens Pale Ale, 3.9%, etc, etc. I just thought I'd say, you know, I've been doing Brew Wednesday for a while now, 24 subscribers, and I'm sort of averaging out about 20 views a time, slightly more. Check that out. But what I'm finding it difficult is actually keeping up with all those subscribers and viewers and stuff. So I've got people who subscribe to me who I'm sure do videos, and I haven't really watched any of their videos, you guys' videos if you're watching now. I feel kind of guilty. So I'm adding a resolution to my New Year's resolution list, which is to try, because it's pretty freaking time consuming, but try and get around more of you guys' videos and see what you're up to. For example, who is it? Off Tap Brewing. Hiya Tiny, if you watch him. Shout out to you. Actually didn't get around to watching any of your videos until tonight. and I'm so glad I did, because I watched a video that he did about no chill brewing, and it sounds like a really good process. So I for one have to, pay for my water by the litre or whatever it is, and I never did quite get around to sort of running that test with my water meter in terms of using a water chiller and seeing how much actually goes through it and how much that costs me. So I'm not really thinking about that too much at the moment, but that could really work for me. So yeah, anyway, ploughing on with it, I'm going to do a shout out for everyone who's commented on any of my videos, and then for any of my subscribers also, that I haven't already mentioned. So Aldo Jags, no, it's not in alphabetical order. Aldo Jags, cheers mate. Scottish fella. He doesn't do any videos himself, but he's been watching mine since pretty much day one. So cheers to you, mate. Happy every Wednesday. Off Tap Brewing, Tiny. Cheers, mate. Apparently you invented something called Beer Fun Friday. Another excuse to get mildly drunk. In addition to Wednesday and all the other days of the week. So cheers to that. More for that. Taxiaka Taxi, or Taxi as he's also known, also been watching my videos right since the start. A nice mellow Italian geezer. I think he's Italian anyway, pretty sure. You are, I'm assuming you watch quite a few of my videos. I like the music that he has with his videos, and yeah, nice chilled out guy, good videos, prolific in the beer making department and kit buying department. Pint by Pints Brew Tube, a funny guy also on the Beer Fun Friday bandwagon, as it were. Lamo 22, also prolific. I've mentioned him a few times on my videos. I don't think I need to mention him again. Vegas Brewer 702, no brewers, but thanks for watching, mate. SJ Poor, aka Little Face Brewing, massive Pittsburgh Steelers fan, amusing videos, inventor of Brew Wednesday, obviously, etc. Bobby Meyer, I shouldn't have to introduce. She's got so many subscribers. You're probably all subscribed to her channel anyway, like 900 or something. But there's a reason for that, because she does a great variety of videos. She's really interesting, got kind of an infectious sense of humour. Videos from anything from taxidermy to how to give your dog subcutaneous injections, and obviously quite a lot of homebrewing. I really like her videos. You should check her out, really informative. Time for another one. If I'm not mistaken, mate, you're a Kiwi, so cheers to that. Cheers to that. Why, because you're a Kiwi? Yeah, why not? Whatever. Did an intro for SJ Poor video recently, and unfortunately I've not seen many of your videos yet, or I've not seen many of his videos yet, but I definitely will be. Brews Dude, not a subscriber. I've got a note here, not a subscriber. What? But he's started about the same time as I did. He's a young American guy, really enthusiastic and informative, knows a lot more about brewing than I do, and he probably does a lot more of it than I do. He's always into something, like tasting a beer, bottled beer, having a brew day, something like that. Interesting. Mr. Snafu 44, again. I'm actually watching you at the moment, dude. Another Kiwi. Not a subscriber, so you probably won't hear this, but yeah, he's pretty interesting. Again, another one I want to see more of. Gash Slug, yeah, from down under, Aussie guy. Loads and loads of really informative videos, interesting, and I definitely suggest you check him out.